Good evening, my dear colleagues. Welcome to another INGED Zoom series talk. Today, our guest is Gülbin Özdemir Altıgöz, who has won several awards as a teacher. Gülbin Hocam is a teacher of English who teaches young learners, my favorite group, at a public primary school in Turkey. And I believe, this is my personal note here, I believe she is an excellent example of a teacher who can accomplish anything that they like if they want to, regardless of a school being public or private. Gülbin Hocam has managed to accomplish wonderful things with her students. She's also a TESOL advanced practitioner, a certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. She's currently working on her MA thesis in the field of ELT. The title of her talk this evening is Snacks for the EFL Classes. Thank you, dear Gülbin Hocam. It's such a nice thing to have you as our guest speaker here. Welcome again. I'm going to leave the screen to you now. It's all yours. We are all excited to listen to you.
Aydan Hocam, thank you so much. I feel so ashamed right now because of what you said before. Thank you so much. I feel so privileged to be here with you on this evening. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my presentation. It's really good to see everyone in here. Okay, so the title of my presentation would be Snacks for the EFL Classes, as Aydan Hocam mentioned before. Gülbin Özdemir Altıgöz, nice to meet you, everyone. So let's move on. Oh, happy Teachers Day. I haven't forgotten it because yesterday was really an amazing day for me. So I got a video message from my students that I would like to share with you, if you allow me, of course. So I'm gonna share the video with you. Just a quick video. So, okay, that was it. And we can move on right now. Happy Teachers Day again. So today's menu will be like this. What are these snacks? The first topic will cover this. And the second one, why do I use them? Why there's a need for them? And when do I use them? And lastly, reflection and closure will be with you. Let's start with snacks. What are these snacks? So these are simply extra activities that I've been doing with my students for years because actually I've been working at a primary school in Belek, Antalya. So I've been working there for 6 years already. So it's a little bit long time. That's why I just started something which is traditional. So, however, there are certain common features for these snacks I included. They're traditional because I've been doing them for years, at least not 6 years, but 2 years. And they're affordable. They're process-oriented because rather than the results, I really care about the process, the development of my students. They're student-centered. This is really cool, actually, because I am always I feel always amazed by their work and by their hard job and their trial and their efforts and their devotion. And they're collaborative and practical, and they're beyond the comfort zone. This is really important for me because if you just go as a typical teacher, you have to go and stand by the board and then you just say, da, and students repeat that. And then that's all. Class is over. Let's go home. No, I don't want that. So that's why these extra activities are beyond the comfort zone. So what are these snacks? Let's move on the next slide with these snacks. I just originated this kind of names actually. For the second graders, I've been doing cake and milk day and greengrocer day and English song contests. For third graders, I've been doing spelling bee contest, share your feelings, introduce your family, and again, English song contest. And for fourth graders, I've been doing International Cultural Festival, counting contest, tell us about your day, science with me, and English song contest again. So why is there a need for these snacks? Why? This is really important, actually. If you look at the side of theoretical side, you can say there's a really, really nice quote, and Benjamin Franklin and Confucius take credits for this one. I don't know who actually said it, but tell me and I forget, show me and I remember, involve me and I understand. So involve is the key word here. That's why I've been doing this extra activities, and I call them snacks of the lessons. And what happens when? Imagine that you're a teacher and you have 2 hours of instruction per week, just 2 hours, and it's not hour actually, it's 40 minutes and 40 minutes, it's like 80 minutes. So we could call it like 1 hour of instruction if we were at a university or something, or a college. So it's not actually hour, but it's something like, okay, maybe we can say 1 hour, 1 actual hour per week. So if you have crowded classes, and if you have too many topics to cover in a lesson in a limited time, this is what we face when we teach young learners, especially second graders, third graders, and fourth graders are actually, our students are amazing, because you should see our course books. There's so many things to cover at 4 weeks or 3 weeks. So that's really hard. So for these, you got to be a super teacher. So my main goals for doing the snacks for years are listed, as you can see. Positive learning atmosphere is quite important for me, because these activities will be fun and stress-free to arouse curiosity and interest. Authenticity and practice. These activities will promote more and more and more practice in a meaningful context. This is really cool, actually, because you just realize that, okay, you have 2 hours and you just see your students just 2 times at a week, on a week, and then you just realize that when can I just make them speak? So this is really hard and difficult, because you have to make them listen all the time in order to make them speak at the end. But you don't have enough time for them. And if you have, like, if you create some like opportunities for them to speak, that would be really wonderful. Autonomy. The students will gradually develop their skills to take charge of their learning. This is what I've been observing all the time. This is really cool. For years, eventually for 6 years, after 6 years, I can just see them. They can develop and they can take charge of their learning at the end, after 6 years. Active participation. The students will be engaged in learning and involved at each phase of the activity, of course with their parents, because they're young, really young. Collaboration. These activities will foster collaboration among parents, parents with students, teachers to students, students to students, and teachers to teachers. Like, it's like a win-win rule, because what I observe is that, especially with parents and students, these extra activities just create some ways and paths to make them more communicate with each other, especially in Belek, because we've got students from 10 different countries. And of course, we have immigrant students, and we have students with divorced families, and we have students with like negative backgrounds. So this is really important. If you have if you just present some ways to your students to communicate actually, and to work with to work together with their parents, this is really cool. So when do I use them? Usual progress is like that. first step would be research, because they need to go and do some research about the task that I've given them. Then the second step would be preparation. They have to prepare something, even like a poster or a mask or a costume or something like that, or even a presentation. Third step would be the performance part. This is really exciting because they got so excited and they are like, oh, I'm super, like, I feel super excited because I'm going to present something in English. I'm going to speak English today. So it's going to be wonderful. And the fourth step would be reflection. Reflection is really important because this phase is where you just observe your student is progressing. Your student is doing something. Your student is eventually saying something like correct, or saying even something if you have some shy students. So that's really nice, actually. Participation normally like 10% would be silent, very shy students, or parents having heavy workload, or uneager to participate, because I always need parents to collaborate. Without them, that would be so nice, actually. That wouldn't work well. But luckily, most of my students and parents are motivated. Even my colleagues, especially class teachers, because I'm the only one English teacher, and they always support me. So I feel really lucky about that. And my school principal, and of course, vice principal as well. These activities are essential also for shy, fearful students, especially if they have speaking anxiety. These activities create some secret rooms for them that they can just show themselves and just express themselves freely. Students with high confidence, if you have some energetic students or ambitious students, that would work really well because they want to show off in the end. And students with low confidence, those thinking that they're not good at anything at school, like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, I hate maths, I hate English, I hate something like that. But if you just create some activities like that, these are so stress-free. So there's no grading, there's no mobbing. So they just, you just feel that, okay, I'm just going there and I just say something and my teacher will clap me. So then you will see that the light on her or his face, then you would feel really happy. And students with disadvantaged background, immigrant, divorced family, newcomers, and financial trouble, etc. So especially immigrant students and children with divorced families, within these activities, they show their culture, and they show their maybe identities, and also their traditions. And also this year, I have experienced something. As you will see in the next slides, but we had International Cultural Festival, and one of my students just chose France as his country, and he brought some croissants to the class in order to make the other students taste croissant. And I just asked them, okay, if there anyone, is there anyone who hasn't tried croissant? And most of my students raised their hands. So I felt shocked because they live in Belek. Come on, this is Belek. How come you don't taste croissant? But it's I think it's mostly concerned with the family or parents. And then I just thought to myself, okay, you're a teacher. You can be surprised all the time. Come on, just motivate yourself again. Okay, then you can have croissant all the time. You can have as much as you want. I just said to them. So I hit my surprise. Let's move on. These are essential for the students because they prepare and they produce in the end. The students do some research, decide, and get ready for their performance. So this brings autonomy. And they produce in the end because they have at least a poster or a piece of paper, a drawing, but somehow they need to present something. So they need to speak. So this is what I want, actually. Yeah. So this is the exciting part. It's like a TikTok video. Can we skip to the good part? So this is nice. International Cultural Festival is one of my favorite snack, actually, because as I said before, I've got students from at least 10 different countries. So this year we have students from Thailand and Israel. So actually, this is really nice to see them, but they don't speak English as I expected. Normally, you expect that, okay, you just, work in Belek, so all the students or most of the students speak English, or at least they're how to say, they can listen or they can speak or they have opportunities, they have chances. No way, because even if they're from Kazakhstan or Turkmenistan or Uzbekistan, they speak Russian instead of English. And then you just realize that some parents, maybe most of them, would say to you, okay, Russian is a world language. Why do I need to learn English if there is Russian? And you just keep silence when you just see some kind of comments like this, but you try hard to do your best. You keep up the good work. Okay, here comes the photos. This is for one of my fourth graders, but now she's at the elementary school. So for some of the units, I've been choosing these snacks. For example, this unit was countries and nationalities, but in the book it says nationality instead of countries and nationalities. But actually, in the past it was called countries and nationalities, so it doesn't really matter. So learning outcome is the students will be able to talk about countries and nationalities. But how come? You just put the word talk, but how come? So when you go to the class and you can say, okay, I'm from Turkey, or Turkey, I'm from Turkey and I'm Turkish. Come on, repeat after me. No, it doesn't work. They can't produce anything you want them to repeat. No way, even their fourth graders. So I just create a solution like this, International Cultural Festival. Beforehand, I prepared a piece of paper that I've written some steps. Okay, you need to do something, like you need to do this, you need to do that. To the parents, I just sent them. And then I just wish them to bring some costumes if they have. If they don't have, they can create. So you can't imagine what sort of costumes I just sew, because parents are so creative about these costumes. And if they have money, they just go and buy it. But if they don't have, so they just create and they just do something. But I suggested them, okay, if you want to be, for example, if you want to choose India, you could just use a piece of sheet, something like that. So yeah, they were so creative. And okay, this year we organized the 5th International Cultural Festival at our school. So that was for the last year. Okay, these are my students. These are fourth graders. So the first one is there to represent a very, very interesting country. It's Kenya. And the other one is Spain. And the other one, Azerbaijan. So you could see the clothes and costumes and the flags and what we prepared. So actually, I just wanted them to bring some snacks for this activity if they have. If you don't, if they don't have, they could just cook. If they can't cook, they could just easily buy, because it's Belek. Everything is quite there in Migros or Carrefour, so whatever. But I just observed that for the years I've been observing that the parents are actually doing their best to honor their children. So they cook and they bring and they buy everything. So that's really nice, actually. And let's move on. Cake and Milk Day. What's the reason behind Cake and Milk Day? This is what I've been doing with my second graders. So unit it was words. So learning outcome was the students will be able to use the correct word to identify certain objects, people or animals. Cake and Milk Day. So this was from the last year, and you are seeing my second graders right now with milk and cake. So this was because I was really feeling devastated, and I fed up hearing Jackie all the time. So I came with this idea. I came up with this idea. So I was just thinking, because they were all the time saying Jackie. Okay, come on. Pizza is okay. Laptop is okay. Lemon, even lemon. It's not lemon, but cake is not cake. Jackie. Then I just came up with this idea, and I just organized the Cake and Milk Day. And that was brilliant, actually, because parents were like, really amazing. They brought milk and cake, and so the idea was here to bring all the milk, like all pockets of milks and cakes, to the table, teacher's desk, and then they would come for their snack to take it. As they were saying, I want cake, I want milk. Then after this day, that was the solution. The problem was solved. There was no jacket at the end of the day. So that was really cool, actually, for me. That was kind of achievement for me, actually, for my personal and professional life. So I felt really honored and powerful that day. It worked. So that was something like that. And yeah, more students, Cake and Milk Day. Without jacket at the end. Greengrocer Day. That was really interesting, actually, because we started doing that last year, and we're gonna keep up doing that this year again with my second graders. The unit is fruits, and learning outcome would be the students will be able to talk about the fruits they like and tell others to do things by pointing out them. Okay, my second graders, that's a photo of the last year. So my second graders and our green grocery desks. So my colleagues supported me and helped me with the little tags. How can I say? And we wrote. We wanted to bring everything, actually, each kind of fruit to the classroom in order to make our students taste, at least. But yeah, we had these ones. As you can see, they have their aprons, and they're gonna act like a greengrocer, but they wouldn't say, come, apple is 5 kilo, 5 lira. No, they wouldn't say that. But they would say, I want apple, I want cherry, I want melon, something like this. And let's watch a video. I have a video for you again here. I quite like it, and I hope you like it too.
Hello, I want my baby. Hello, Ella. I want strawberries and
So yeah, I was quite impatient. I want, I jumped into the video. Yeah, but I just felt really honored when I saw my students would pronounce peach in the end. So, okay, for Turkish people, it's really hard. Sometimes it can be hard. Let's move on to the next slide. Share your feeling. This is what I've been doing with my third graders. The unit is called Feelings, and learning outcome would be the students will be able to talk about personal feelings and make simple suggestions. So these are my students again. As you can see, they're so creative. And my really ambitious student. And they told me that for the whole night, they stay awake and they just were preparing those posters. Again, let's watch a video. By the way, Aydan Hocam, is there something wrong with the videos? You can hear, right?
Sound quality is not that good, but
I know.
but it's okay. We can hear it. Yes, the sound is on, so don't worry about it.
Okay, okay. So let's start with Adrian.
My name is Adrian. I am 10. Let's play basketball.
Bravo!
So maybe we can watch it again.
My name is Adrian. I am 10. Let's play basketball.
Bravo!
And I have another video, which is really nice.
Hello, my name is Deniz. I'm from Izmir. I'm cool. Let's play the guitar.
Wow!
So this is really cool. Yeah. So Deniz is always cool. And let's keep up with the next slide, counting contest. Actually, this is, I just came up with this idea because there was a need during the pandemic because they were feeling themselves so depressed and blue. Then I just thought to myself, I could just bring some rewards, or I could just give them something to make them feel cheerful and happy. Then I just came up with this idea. I could just organize a contest, which would be with medals. So actually, I just suggested my principal about this medal thing, and he was quite surprised, and he just said that he would support me. So thanks God, he supported me financially. So yeah, you're gonna see them. This is quite important because for fourth graders, we have the first unit and they need to count to 50, not to the hundreds. So they can count up to 50, but they don't necessarily need to count to up to 100. So I just organized a contest and I just said, okay, whoever can count up to 100, I will give him or her a medal. Then you could see, you could imagine how the chaotic atmosphere. So they were like racing, okay, and they were teaching each other. They were peer learning, and they were peer solidarity. I couldn't pronounce, sorry. And that was really awesome, actually. That was really amazing to see them to like teaching each other. That was really cool. And let's move on. Tell us about your day. And this is what I've been doing with my fourth graders for my day units. Learning outcome would be the students will be able to talk about their daily routines. It's always talk, but it doesn't show you a path how to do it. Talk, talk, talk. But if you say a word, if you say something concrete, that would be talking, but it's not meaningful. So I just created a task for my students. Again, we can watch the videos, even if the quality is not good. I'm sorry for that.
Hello, my name is Carl. I wake up I get dressed. I eat breakfast. I go to school. I eat lunch at school. I go home. I do my homework. I have dinner with my family. I read my book. I go to bed. Goodbye.
These videos are super cool, actually. I quite like them. And then if the parents and the students allow, and if they give permission, so I normally share them. We don't have smart boards, but we just have the projectors. So I normally share them with their classmates if they give the permission, of course. And then they just comment, and I want to hear about their comments, and they just love it. Another one, science with me. So this is what I've been doing with my 4th graders for the unit Fun with Science. The students will be able to give short and basic instructions. But how? So these are my students again. This is our science lab, which is not used often, but I just knock on the door and just came in or entered. And yeah, so what I would, what I just suggested my parents and the students was that, okay, you can just find a very, very, very simple experiment that you can share with your classmates. But it should be very, very simple, because you need to explain while doing the experiment. So these are really quite simple experiments, but they loved it. They were like, you can see the stars on the eyes of the students. So they're like, oh, I can't believe my eyes. So something like that. Yeah, you can see them, how serious they are, by the way, like scientists. Spelling bee competition, spelling bee contest. This is what I've been doing with my 3rd graders for the unit greeting. Actually, learning outcome is like the students will be able to spell their names only. But I was just like feeling insecure when I just came up with this idea, because I was not quite sure if they would do, because spelling bee contest is something really different and something really famous worldwide. And I was like, okay, can I do it? No, maybe not. But yeah, let's try. Then, yeah, this is a photo of the last year competition. So we have the jury. We share the same building with the secondary school. So I always go them and request their help because I can't be the jury. So they always there to support me. So I want to say thank you. When they watch, they will see. So yeah, this is our principal and the participating students, the spelling bee. And this was one of my students in the jury. So what would they do was just like spelling, FAST, and like we just kept the notes about the how they would do that, the time, and if they would like spell it correctly, then we just find out the first, the second, and the third for the school. We always do that. And they like it. They like the presents and they like the medals. Introduce your family. This is what I've been doing with my 3rd graders for the unit My Family. The students will be able to introduce their families in a simple way. This is quite tricky because I always feel, how to say, like not ashamed, but I feel so trapped when I just teach this unit, because we have students like who have lost in their families, and families with divorced students with divorced families, and students with really bad backgrounds, and immigrant students. So I always feel, okay, maybe I can't do it, maybe I shouldn't do it, but then I just leave alone those negative feelings and ideas and opinions. So I just keep on my I just trust my heart, let's say. So these are my students again with their posters. Normally, the book suggests that, okay, prepare a poster and bring it to class, or just, you could just have a tick on their posters and they could just leave the school, leave the class without saying even a word. But I normally do something different. I want them to present their photos and families. But beforehand, I send some brief information to the parents and also to the students. I explain it, and I just say that, okay, I need 10 sentences, just 10 sentences, starting with hello, finishing with goodbye. But in the in between, you could say, this is my grandfather, this is my grandmother, and you could add their names. Then you will see their wonderful ideas and wonderful presentations. So these are my students again, third graders, 9 years old. Yeah, 9-year-olds. Let's watch a video again. So many videos. I'm gonna show you Mina.
Hello, teacher. Hello, friends.
Hello.
My family. Hello. My name is Miraj. This is my grandfather Wajid. This is my grandmother Gülcan. This is my father Ümit. This is my mother Esra. This is my sister Gülcan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm like a crazy teacher. I always motivate them like shouting and listening. And yeah, that was it. Let's move on. The newest, the fresh one, English Song Contest. I started to do this this year, and it's going to be traditional because so I'm not sure how I will continue with that. But for now, I am thinking of doing it again and again. So these are our jury and class teachers from different classes, branches. And these are the students performing their songs with their acts. And you can see the smiley faces because there were so many, my name is Chiki all the time. But I warned my jury about that. And I just say that, okay, please forgive me and my students, because there will be so many so many songs, like for example Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars, or something like my name is Chiki all the time. But please forgive me, please excuse me for that. I'm so sorry. I warned them about that, but they were of course always supporting me, and of course they were motivating my students to keep up with their good work in the fort. So they were singing here, and I was taking the photos like paparazzi. Yeah, the medal day. And let's watch the video. So I was actually not in the evaluation process, or that day I was not there. So jury decided the jury reached their latest decision. So I'm gonna show you. I was quite surprised when I just saw that my one of my students would be the first for the third graders, and he sang Yesterday from the Beatles. And I was like shocked. What? Yesterday from the Beatles? Wow. Then we just recorded a video.
Troubles is so far away. Now looks the door ready to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I not am there I used to be. There's shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday comes suddenly. say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such easy game to play.
So that was all, actually. And yeah, that's nice, isn't it? So reflection and closure. So I'm going to share three students of mine sharing their thoughts and opinions and comments about these snacks. I wish I had many more, but somehow I couldn't find their photos because I changed my phone. That's why I can't just find them out. But I'm going to share 2 or 3 of them with you. So maybe you could just read it silently, and I'm gonna share it like a translation. Yeah, maybe you could just read it, but basically, briefly, it's about how she liked the activity, International Cultural Festival, because she chose to be a Japanese girl, and she just is commenting on the progress, the experience she's been experiencing. So yeah, that's quite nice actually. That's quite great. So she says, thanks to this cultural festival, I met other cultures and other people from other cultures, and this activity aroused my interest and curiosity for the other cultures, the other countries. And that was what I wanted, actually, and that was the result. Again, Arnika is one of my students, and she's from Iran, and Bushra is Turkish. So Arnika is really doing her best to develop her skills in writing and speaking English. So she just wanted to write in English. So I didn't say anything to Arnika for this comment. She just wrote it. I'm really excited because this is my first time. I like it. The foods are really delicious. Yeah, because children always, like eating and trying delicious food. Because I like foods, that's good. Teacher, thank you for this program. And Bishra says she's really happy. She was really excited. And she is again talking about the delicious food. Yeah. And the thing is here, she says, okay, that was really beautiful. That was quite nice. And she adds that there were some things that I have never tasted before. And she says, this was the most beautiful festival that I've experienced in my life. And these comments like really makes me excited, and also I feel quite sensitive when I read those kind of really quite good comments. So evaluation, how do I evaluate the process? I keep portfolios. As you can see, I keep the videos and I keep the posters and I keep the papers, all the things. So I always doing some mini quizzes or some kind of examinations and exams to my students. First, I just fill in the how to say, complete the topics and complete the activities on the book, which is a really traditional way, like let's do this, let's do that. Then I add those snacks, those extra activities to my lessons. Then I then I just taste them and do some exams before and after. So you'll see the success. So it's quite increasing. For example, you go to the class and you just say, okay, our topic is feelings, happy, sad, blah, blah, blah. I feel happy, I feel sad. Then you just go out of the classroom and then you come back and you just ask them what was happy there were like, they're probably, or not probably, most probably, I would say, they would just stare at you like you have said nothing. What was happy? What was sad? No, you didn't teach us that. But when you just make them go home and discuss with their parents about the masks, they decide about the mask and then they would choose the feeling. And it's quite impressive for me because it tickles my interest and curiosity about the private issues at the families, because that feeling that day is like a mirror to the parent and the student as well. Because when you just say most of the students are feeling happy, that's nice, but sometimes you just say scared, sometimes you just say excited, sometimes you just see that the students choose to be afraid or to be angry. And yeah, these are really quite impressive footprints for the teachers, especially if you're really caring about your students and their private lives. Yeah, achievements. So International Cultural Festival, I was accepted to 6th International Congress of Eurasian Social Sciences in May this year for the best practices in education. It was chosen, so I felt really honored. And also for 6th International Symposium of Education of Values. That was really cool because Tell Us About Your Day was chosen as the best practices in education in October this year. And I just went there to present my these extra activities like snacks. So I felt really honored and I felt really privileged. So that was really nice. Thank you. Do you have any questions? I just wrote down here. So Q&A part, I think I would be happy to hear about your comments or questions you might have. I don't know, John. Thank you for listening to me. That was really quite special for me to be here in this really nice evening without rain. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gülbin Hocam. It's a very nice presentation, very nice session, and especially for young learners, fans like me, it's going to be very practical. I think people can use these ideas, maybe not the food items. We have been joking about that in the chat box because not everyone can have access to this kind of food. They may not have the financial sources, or they may not find those items. Living in Antalya or Belek most probably has its advantages and disadvantages, I believe. Knowing the prices of items in Antalya, horrifying, believe me, horrifying. Hocam, I have one quick question. This is more related to the format, actually. Do you have the consent of the parents to share these videos and photographs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we are going to publish the video. If they do not, if we don't have the consent, we don't want to embarrass any children or, harm any children here. So I would just wanted to make sure. So we do have consent of the parents.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking of the of sending them to you, like online or something like that. Just
well,
in case.
if you have the consent yourself, because you have the intellectual property of this video, so it's your responsibility. But of course, my editor is also very sensitive when it comes to children's rights, and we don't want to really hurt any children, anyone, in fact, right? And I have another question, Hocam. Have you ever encountered offensive stereotyping? Like, for example, you have cultural festival and they say, for example, I'm a Japanese girl. Have you ever had a child modeling a negative stereotype?
Yeah. It was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I can't remember right now, but I remember having a student who was really cruel about his patriotism or his parents' patriot modeling ideas. So it's like, okay, we're Turkish. Why do you choose to be another like from another country? So it doesn't make sense to me. But actually, the thing is, my message is here, or my goal is here, to feel or to make those students who come from different countries feel tolerated and feel at home, actually. But it's a bit like tricky because I was thinking that, okay, Turkish student would be Turkish. That's all. No, I wouldn't say that. If a person or if a child, if a student wants to be Japanese, so he or she, of course, would be Japanese or, but yeah. So then it turned out to be something really conflicted. And I talked to the parents about it with a kind way. And I asked them why he was so keen on doing this. So actually, I felt really proud. I just talked to them. But then I just said that if someone says that this is not the right thing, so you shouldn't say it, because it's about the spaces. When you just how to say, when you just how to say violence, or I just forget it. When you have some violation to someone's space, so that's not freedom. I just told them. So they apologized and they warned their child. And actually, that was quite tricky because they just told me that, how come our child? No way! I can't believe it. How did he do that? How did he say that? But he said that, and you didn't realize. So that was a quite big, nasty but very cool experience for the parents as well, because they just realized that their chats or their conversations or social media or somehow something affected their children, their child. And so, yeah, that was the last stop for them to take some action. Yeah, that was quite nice, actually. But that was a big lesson for me too.
That's a very good reflection of what their home life is, most probably, because many people say that children do not listen to you. They just copy you. So whatever you do, whatever you say, it's there. They kind of absorb it. It's not like, hey, listen to me. You need to be tolerant. You need to be open-minded. No, they're not going to listen to you, what you're saying. They're going to just mirror you. Whatever you do, however you react, I totally agree with that statement. I was more talking about, of course, there are certain reactions like that. And cultural awareness is very, very important. I totally agree with you. This is why we teach a language, in fact, how to respect others, how to be empathetic to other people, how to respect other cultures. I was more asking about, when we say, I want to be a Chinese person, there is a wrong, offensive image of a Chinese person for us because of the social modeling, I guess. And then when we want to become a Chinese person, we may offend
Yeah.
that culture. So I was thinking maybe a child has done that, and I was wondering how you have dealt with it.
No, actually, now I get the question. I'm sorry, I misunderstood it, but now I get it. No, stereotyping you're talking about, I don't know, Jam. No, I haven't experienced it because of their age, probably. But, yeah, but if it were like at the
Wonderful.
high school or secondary school, like even that would be most probable thing that I would experience. You're right, but it's because of
That's great.
they're so young.
That-
They don't know that. They don't know yet.
Gülbin Hocam, thank you very much. Yes. Are there any other questions, my dear colleagues? Would you like to ask something? Or maybe comment on something? Gülbin Hocam, do you deal with errors, or do you let them just go because here they're just enjoying the process? Maybe if you start correcting them, they may feel offended. How do you deal with errors?
Normally,
Pronunciation or, structural.
actually, I'm quite obsessed with pronunciation. I think that's my weakest part
Mhm.
when it comes to teaching, because you need to be patient. But of course, I always motivate them to speak. This is the first thing that I've been doing it, because if you just cut it somewhere, especially at the beginning, so they would quit speaking. So because they're going to be afraid, they're going to be so scared, so they won't speak like forever maybe. So in the beginning, I let them speak. So I just say that, okay, make mistakes, please make mistakes. So I won't hang you on the wall, I won't just put you in the rubbish bins or something like that.
Yes.
Like jokes, because this is really important for young learners, because there is mobbing. So for the classroom atmosphere, this is really important, because I have some rules that I have been establishing with my students at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the semester. And so it says respect each other. So I'm really strict about that. So if someone makes mistakes and the other one corrects, that's the difficult part starts for that student, because I'm the teacher and I don't let one student to do nasty thing to another student.
Of course.
But as we progress, I decide, and I find it quite useful to correct them, because for young learners, this is really tricky, because sometimes parents call you and say that, okay, hocam, it's written here, how are you? Because they work at hotels and they just, English very proficiently. They're like C2 or something like that. So they just call you, hocam, my child reads it like, how are you? So, and then sometimes you just say, for example, for cake part, my child pronounces that in the wrong way. So you just see that it's jacket. So I just, as we progress, as we keep on our studies or like classes move on, I prefer to correct them. Like in a nice way, but I prefer the correct them, because in the end you're gonna have my name is. So I won't really need that, and I won't want that. But I'm for example, I just say that, okay, your accent is really how to say, your accent is not what I need. You could just say hello, hello, hello. Doesn't really matter, but don't say it like hello. This is reading Turkish, because that's why So as I said before, this is my weakest sport. So I'm really trying to correct them for the pronunciation, because
Mhm.
this is when I don't, or if I don't, it becomes fossilized.
Yes.
Then when they go to 5th grade or 6th grade, so they're gonna be like, "How are you? My name is," or something like that. So
Mhm.
I really will feel guilty.
Mhm.
That's why, as we progress, I prefer to correct them. Hocam.
Thank you very much. I just asked the question because um, in young learners literature, usually it is claimed that when you're teaching something, you need to focus your attention on correction. When they are practicing something, just stay away and listen to them and keep a note of their mistakes, and then you can deal with them later, because this is how we start scaring people. If they feel corrected all the time, they stop producing. This is the literature. This is what people claim. So these are extra activities. So most probably you have already done the teaching part. So these are just, fun activities. So maybe we should just let them use the language. Later we can have remedial teaching, maybe. Yasemin Hocam has a question here related to classroom management. Do you encounter any problems during these activities? If yes, how do you cope with them?
It's gonna be really surprising, but I don't, because I get some help from parents. I really know myself that I won't be coping with that classroom management if there's food,
Mm,
especially, or if there's fruits or something like that. So I get support from my colleagues, special class teachers. So I'm
mhm,
so lucky because they are free in my lesson and you punish them. And so they're always there to help me to
mhm,
handle it, because when they have two teachers or when they have two how to say adults in the classroom, so they won't be naughty that
mm,
naughty. Of course, there are some problematic issues like, okay, I want this, I want that, for example, and blah, blah. But yeah, some kind of complaints like, okay, I was before him, I was before her. No way,
mm.
I was behind, something like that. But yeah, these are really small things to cope with.
Mm.
I don't have anything like really big because I get help, get support as well.
It's maybe not only because of the support of the parents or your colleagues, but because it's your classroom, it's your students. Yasemin Hocam is mentioning the practicum setting. Practicum, in fact, is very much like cooking in someone else's kitchen.
Mhm.
So it's not your group. They don't know you. They are not familiar with your rules. They do not have respect or love for you. You're just an extra teacher doing something there. They don't really care. Young learners care for their teacher.
Mhm.
And this is something, Yasemin Hocam, that you're going to create in your classroom. If they love you, there is nothing they wouldn't do for you.
Exactly.
But if they don't like you,
No
there
way.
is nothing they wouldn't do to you. So you need to be very careful. With, of course, preteens, teens, young adults, there are different principles that we can talk about. I strongly suggest you watch Classroom Management and Interaction on our channel. It was my Zoom talk. I'm not promoting myself, but you can get some ideas about classroom management there, especially for older learners. There's another question. It says, what do you do when a student or some students do not want to participate?
That's really tricky. I'm going to be honest. I don't normally, if I don't see a light, even the smallest one. For example, young learners are really easy to deal with at one side. At the other side, on the other side, they're really hard to deal with. Because sometimes you just see that, okay, maybe it's because of the modeling, because they're like, especially female teachers are like mothers or aunties or sisters or like elder sisters or something like that. So sometimes this works for me. This is like valid for me. I don't know, maybe it's different for the other colleagues of mine, but sometimes I just see that they want my attention. Then they insist on being silent, and they insist on being inactive, like staying like away from me or their classmates or his or her classmates. And then I'm sure I feel it because he or she wants me to call her name or his name to the stage. This is what I've been experiencing for the years, but sometimes there are some newcomers, and this is of course another topic, but for example, sometimes my students as well, some of my students, not too much, not too many, but some of my students do the same. I personally look at their face first, because it can be about their parents, it can be about their private lives, it can be about their class. Maybe they fell down, maybe their parents had a fight, maybe they didn't eat anything, maybe they couldn't bring anything to do like performance, maybe they're not ready. So I try to like catch a glimpse of something like a scar or something like that, like from that face. Then I take my action. I decide to stay silent and her or him alone. And if I see that, okay, this is not about me, okay, the problem is not about me, or the like he or she doesn't want to participate, but not because of me, because of other issues. I try to catch their attention. I try to, spoil them. I try to, motivate them. I try to do like, okay, Eileen, you're really good at doing this and that. So come here and show your classmates, please, so on and so forth. But there's always a but. If the problem is not about the performance or is not about me, if the problem is about something really different, it could be anything, then I just let her or him stay silent for a while, stay for a while. And then actually it's mostly it's about the how to say, process. For example, sometimes you see a child, you see a student of yours, he or she just stays there and doesn't want to talk or doesn't want to participate. Then you just don't make any eye contact even, and you just leave her there, and you just keep on the performance, you just keep your teaching. But sometimes you just make some eye contact, like how to say, you just, how to say in English, I don't know, but you just, try to catch something with your eyes, try to catch some relationship, or try to catch some secret messages with your eyes and with your gestures and mimics. Then he or she eventually and naturally comes, and she or he says that he or she wants to, participate. Sometimes it's about the time, but as I said before, I just normally, generally, I prefer to stay silent or prefer to stay and wait for a while.
So you don't force them,
no,
but you always try to encourage them. to participate. So you try to find something which will motivate them to be a part of the activity or the task. Well, that is really very important, because forcing definitely is not going to work. In fact, it may create a very bad tension in the classroom, even with very young learners, because would you like to be forced to do something if you don't want to? So as a teacher, you, as Gülbin Hocam has mentioned, you can always find something that some kind of a connection between you and your student. And if they know that you care about them, they will slowly, gradually start taking roles. Oh, well, of course, you can give them small, like assistant kind of responsibilities. Could you please help me with this? You know, that kind of thing. As I've said before, teachers are wonderful actors. You know, we are acting all the time on the stage. Well, thank you very much, Gülbin Hocam. The chat is full of appreciation, wonderful remarks. They are thanking you for this very practical set of ideas. It was a pleasure to have you here with us after a very long day and a very long trip from Belek to Antalya. Please do accept our appreciation and gratitude. My dear colleagues, as usual, I thank you all for your participation, and I hope to see you next week with another wonderful speaker, another wonderful topic. Bye-bye, everyone.